We are in Manchester, England, known as the capital of the North. Manchester is, of course, famous for its football team and in fact is the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. This cosmopolitan centre for sports and the arts is a prominent leisure, learning and business destination for domestic and international visitors. With us now is the Chief Executive of Marketing Manchester, Mr. Andrew Stokes. It's a real pleasure and a privilege to have you with us today, sir.
Good afternoon, nice to meet you.
Manchester is the second largest city in the United Kingdom. What's unique about Manchester from a tourism point of view?
Well, there are lots of strengths that Manchester has from a tourism point of view. In part, it's a fantastic gateway. So from Manchester, you can visit lots of other places. So you can visit the Lake District, you can visit the fantastic city of Liverpool, you can visit the historic city of Chester, you can go from Manchester throughout the whole of the northwest and up into Scotland. As well as that, it's a fantastic place for a short break in its own right. So it has a strong cultural offering. There are some 30 theatres in Greater Manchester, which means it has the largest concentration of theatres anywhere in the UK after the West End in London. It also has great free museums and galleries, including the National Soccer Museum, so the National Football Museum, which is celebrating its first birthday this month, and so it's well worth a visit. Also, you've got great other museums and galleries. All in all, it's just a great place to visit.
And the oldest stadium in the UK?
Absolutely. Well, indeed, Manchester was the place that the British Professional Football League was formed. So you could say we're the birthplace of professional football, or soccer as they would call it in the United States.
Well, football is the world's most popular sport. Of course, eating is also. So tell us about dining and other the city is unique for.
Well, Manchester is a great party city, and by which I mean that people really know how to enjoy themselves here, and that spreads to sort of the food and drink offering. And so that you can eat any sort of cuisine you like. We have fantastic ethnic food, so there's a great Chinatown, there's a great Indian community, so we have fantastic Indian restaurants, but also great European food, great American-based food. So really, any sort of food you want, you can get here, and it's good quality. Great bars, so a great night out if you enjoy a drink and enjoy music. And it's a city that has a certain sort of youth and vitality to it. It's the most popular university campus in the United Kingdom and the largest university campus in Europe. So again, a young person city, so lots of things to see and do.
Please tell us more about education.
The most popular university in this country is Manchester University, and the second most popular university in this country is also one of our universities in Manchester. And we have great strengths in all sorts of different sectors within those universities. So right through from culture and sort of performing arts, right the way through to science and sport. Manchester, great place to study, great place to learn your trade.
Considering all the diversity and so forth, is Manchester a well-connected city?
Oh, absolutely it is. We have a fantastic international airport. In fact, Manchester's airport serves more destinations than Heathrow Airport. We have 50 flights a week that link us to the United States, to 7 different destinations. So, yeah, incredibly well connected throughout the whole of the world, but particularly to our friends in the United States.
I understand that Manchester is also a very popular shopping centre.
Oh, it is indeed, and we have all of the sort of offerings you would expect in a major international city. So, we have branches of Selfridges, Harvey Nichols, and also a lot of the boutique brands, the high-end boutique brands. But as well as that, there's a fantastic independent sector in Manchester. So there's a whole quarter of the city, the northern quarter, where if you want to go and find something that's fairly unique to Manchester, fairly unique to this place, you would go there and you'd wander around those small independent boutiques. It's a great place to shop, great place to spend money.
That's true anywhere. We are staying at the Radisson Blu Edwardian, a beautiful hotel. Tell us about hospitality in your city.
Right, well, you're lucky enough to experience a fantastic 5-star product. And, we have 2 5-star hotels of that quality. What's great about Manchester is there's a real diversity of accommodation options. So as well as those 5-star products, there's great historic hotels and historic spaces, some wonderful contemporary spaces, and a whole range of apart hotels, which will offer you a different sort of offering. And finally, a really good range of budget accommodation. So for any pocket, we can find something that matches in Manchester.
Visiting here from the United States, I actually do love the weather in the UK, but are there any particular times of year that Manchester is preferred or not?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to say that it's lovely to come during the summer. It would be nice to know that you're going to get good weather, and so a lot of people will visit during the summer months. What's great about Manchester, however, is that we have a really strong events programme, and almost any time of year when you come here, you'll find something to do. So that might be sort of the end of August when we have our big Gay Pride events, and that's an absolute hoot in this city. It could be at Christmas when the whole of the city is covered with Christmas markets, and there's something very picturesque and wonderful about shopping in those craft markets all around Christmas. It could be July this year, where we've had our International Arts Festival, but you will find that there's something to do any time of the year when you come to Manchester.
Well, Mr. Stokes, I must say this certainly is a vibrant and energetic city, and I see tourists walking around the streets here who seem to be from all parts of the world.
Manchester is a destination that appeals to people from all over the world, and so we have a strong offering from the United States. So lots of people come from the United States, but also from Europe. Germany is a very important market to us, so people travel. They tend to come, spend a couple of days in Manchester, and then go travelling to one of the national parks that surround us. So they might go hiking in the Lake District, or they might go walking in the Peak District. I suppose if people are looking for a city break, they'll come from anywhere in Europe really to come here.
And it seems that Manchester is thriving despite what we hear in the last few years about economic problems in Europe.
I think our offer has changed, but I think Manchester as a city has managed to change with the economic downturn, and so we have a really strong offering, and so you can come and you can have a relatively inexpensive but quality experience here in Manchester, and people have picked up on that and they've come and visited.
This is all very interesting, and I'm sure many in our audience would like to know how they could find out more information about Manchester.
Well, I'm going to recommend that they go to visitmanchester.com. Fantastic website, has details of everything I've talked about.
Well, this has been very interesting. I want to thank you so very much for being with us today, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I do hope you enjoy your visit to Manchester. I'm sure you shall.
I already am. Thank you, sir. With us now, Stephen Miles, General Manager of the Radisson Blu Edwardian Hotel in Manchester, UK. A pleasure and honour to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for... So,
I absolutely love your city. It's lovely. I love the weather. It actually is a sunny day. And it's just a wonderful experience to be here in the centre of the United Kingdom.
Is it your first time to Manchester?
Actually, yes. I was born in London, but I've never been to Manchester, believe it or not.
Yeah.
The birthplace of football and the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, actually.
Correct, yes, indeed.
Please tell our audience a little as to what is unique from your standpoint in hospitality.
Well, we've been operating here for just under 10 years now, and of course, so I can't really speak about Manchester before that. We're basically a London hotel company. This is our first venture outside of out of London, but it's been tremendously successful. What happened to Manchester over 20 years ago was that the IRA bomb, which ripped the heart out of central Manchester, made it regenerate itself. So what you see today is what we would call the original modern city. This building is no different that we're sitting in. This is the Free Trade Hall, and arguably one of the most historical and important buildings in the northwest. We retained the facade, which was originally built in 1845, and we've built a hotel around the envelope of that. And it's been very successful. We're the only city's 5-star hotel in Manchester, and we have seen the economic growth of this city now, I would say, has definitely become Britain's second city, certainly as far as destination. If you look at some of the stats, we're rapidly catching Edinburgh up in Scotland, outside of London. So there's a lot to look forward to. Of course, we've got the sport here. We've got the world's richest football club, and we've probably got the world's biggest football club here. So two of those clubs, and of course, but there's much more to Manchester than that football brand. It is a big sporting town. There's other activities that go on here, which I'm sure you've already alluded to. But of course, you've got a huge cultural offering. You've got a fabulous retail offering. You don't have to go to London to shop. All of the major brands are here. And over 600 restaurants. So this is becoming a real destination for the leisure market. And then for the corporate customer, of course, there is plenty of business going on in Manchester, being the second biggest city, most important city. You can imagine the corporate travel that is. We have a fabulous convention centre, so obviously that's attracting fantastic association business and general conference business. And of course, we've got a world-class airport. You can get off an international flight and be in the city centre in 20 minutes. I can't think of many major cities you can actually do that. And I think that flies to 11 cities in the United States daily. So this is a truly international city. I think our challenge has been to change the perception, particularly in North America, of Manchester. I regularly go to America to sell this business and this city. I have a responsibility as a board member of Visit Manchester. It's been a real, and we've found actually in the last 2 or 3 years a real uplift in interest in this city with the more profile that it gets and more column inches. In fact, this city hosted the American Travel Writers Association a few years ago, and of course you can imagine having over 200 North American travel writers in town. That did us no harm at all.
Certainly a very fascinating city, and your hotel is rather unusual.
Yes.
This particular suite is just beautiful. And tell our audience a little bit more about the amenities you offer in this hotel.
Well, we have 263 bedrooms. We have 23 suites. As I said, we built this hotel around the envelope of the Free Trade Hall. So we've been very particular about keeping the history. Bob Dylan did his first electric concert here, the Judas concert. And pretty much anybody that's anybody in contemporary music has performed here at the Free Trade Hall. The way that I always talk about this in America is it's a bit like building a hotel in the Carnegie Hall. That's really what it meant to this city. We have a beautiful hotel, spa and health club, 2 restaurants, and we have about 23 meeting rooms. So we have a large hotel, but as I'm sure, as you know, you've been staying here yourself for the last couple of days, it's full of interesting things, architectural things to look at, and we've really worked hard at creating a sense of place because of the history of the region and particularly the building. All of the bedroom suites have been named after famous people that have performed here. We're currently sitting in the Sir Paul McCartney suite when the Beatles performed here at the Free Trade Hall. But we didn't really want to turn it into a hard rock cafe, so we've got original song sheets, original tickets and original photography, which we've just mounted into the walls just to give it a discreet nuance to the fact that the sense of place within the hotel. All the meeting rooms have been named after very famous political people that spoke here: Churchill, Gladstone, Disraeli. All of the, as I say, all the bedroom suites are people that have performed here at the Free Trade Hall: Bassey, McCartney, XYZ. And then the two restaurants have been named after the Halle Orchestra's two most famous musical movements, which is Opus and Alto. The Halle Orchestra was based here for a good 150 years, and as we know, they're one of the world's most famous orchestras. So, as I say, we've really worked hard. We've just completed a £2.5 million upgrade of the building, so we're very determined that this building looks as good today as it did when we opened 10 years ago. We've won 30 international, national and local awards for our people, product and service, and I think we're generally accepted as the best hotel in the northwest of England.
So, not to touch upon any negatives, but the economy in Europe has been up and down here and there. How's this affected tourism to Manchester, for example?
Well, I think it's been good. I mean, I think your pound goes further here than it does in other parts of Europe, so that's a big attraction. The stay vacation, you know, people coming for the weekend, has seen a huge increase rather than perhaps going to Paris or Budapest. So that's been a huge plus to us. And then, of course, the fact that the corporate market, you know, Media City, you know, half of the BBC and ITV now, our two big television stations, are now based here in Manchester. The construction industry outside of London is based here, so of course we have the second biggest lawyer centre and the second biggest financial institution centre outside of London. All of that creates business. So we've seen better year, but we had a record year last year since we opened. So and with the help of the city's leadership, which is inspirational, certainly with the types of development of buildings that they're doing, and we work together as a team. I've worked in many cities, but this is the first city that I've ever worked in where the collaboration between the city hall and the hotels and the restaurants and the airport about attracting business is quite inspirational, and we're definitely one team, and we know that a quiet conference centre means possibly a quiet hotel, and we're always working at putting events on, and I forgot to mention that we have the second biggest arena in Europe, in the Manchester Evening Arena, so there's always somebody every week on there. The Who were on there last night, for instance. Beyonce was on, Robbie Williams has been on this week, so there's always a major international star, and of course you can imagine with those 25,000, 30,000 seat venues the amount of traffic that brings to the city.
And I hear that you're actually expanding. There's a building across the street that your hotel has acquired.
Yeah, we've bought the Theatre Royal, which is Manchester's oldest theatre, and we're going to put, we have some exciting plans about putting a large convention centre in there with a rooftop bar and restaurant, and two big super suites and some more suites.
Very exciting, and I would like to wish you a lot of success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.